Hello, welcome to Record Time. Record Time is a weekly Akashic experience where we explore simple and mysterious themes through the lens of the Akashic Records. My name is Mina, and I'm happy to be here with you. If you're a new friend, welcome. If you're an old friend, welcome back. I appreciate you taking the time to be here with me in this virtual space. If you're new, I invite you to check out my website, minaruchi.com, and there I have lots of fun things waiting for you. There's a free guided visualization, there's free meditation classes, there's workshops, there's one-on-one offerings, there's over 100 videos like these where I'm channeling from the Akashic Records. So yeah, lots of goodness waiting there for you. If you're curious. But for right now, I invite you to just take a moment to settle in and arrive wherever you are in this moment. And if you're multitasking, as always, please devote your attention to whatever else that it is you're doing. And be safe. But if it's safe and accessible, you can close your eyes and just notice where you are internally right now. How are you feeling? How is your breath? How is your position? Are you comfortable? And as you witness those things, see if there's any natural invitations there to adjust or get more comfortable. Okay, and so the records are sharing. Is your experience of not enoughness yours? Is your experience of not enoughness yours? And this, may not apply to everybody, but if you're someone like me and like many people that I know, most people I know do experience this in some capacity, in some facet of their life. But if there's part of you, or if you have moments where you feel like you are not enough, you're not good enough, or you don't know enough, or you're not skilled enough, or you're not sweet enough, whatever that not enough thing might be, that feeling of not enoughness, the records are inviting us to consider and to kind of inquire, is that feeling really yours, or is it not? And I want you to just sit with that for a second. You could even just take a moment to hone in on an experience of not enoughness that feels present at this time in your life. And just offer up the question, is this mine? Or is it not? And they're saying that there is a collective experience of not enoughness that's extremely prevalent. And it's as though the default is to almost like sink into this feeling of not enoughness. And one way this is super present, one way you can kind of track this, is how you experience compliments. When someone compliments you, is your immediate response to deflect it and to deny it and to kind of push it to the side and dodge it a little bit? Or do you take it in? And that's just one example, and it's small, but it happens like it's a common experience. It's something that could happen even potentially on a daily basis. And it's just something to note. And to note collectively, like that's something, even if you don't do that, I'm sure you know people around you. The next time you give a compliment, see how people receive it. Do they take it in or do they not? But there's this like collective experience where the default is to experience ourselves as not enough, right? It feels taboo to just claim something about yourself, to own something about yourself, to confidently just say, I am enough. I actually am smart enough to do this job. I actually am good enough at this thing. I actually am quite skilled at this thing, or whatever it might be. It feels taboo to articulate good things, nice things about ourselves. And that is this like collective default that we kind of just sit back into. And so what the records are inviting us to do in this moment is note that, yeah, that's a collective experience. That's a collective default. Most of the time, as a group, people tend to feel like they're not enough, or they have a hard time expressing that and owning that. Right? They either feel like they're not enough, or if they do feel like they're enough, it still feels weird to kind of own that and to say it out loud. You might feel it, but it's taboo, or it's not polite to have someone compliment you and to just agree with them. And I'm laughing, but it really shouldn't be that weird. It should be fine to do that. And yet it's almost comical because it does feel a little taboo. It does feel a little edgy if someone were to say, oh, you look so wonderful today. You're gorgeous. And you just say, I know, thank you. And that shouldn't be weird. And maybe it's not weird for you. And if it's not weird for you, that's wonderful. But if it does feel weird, just note that. And note that that's like a common collective experience. And so what the records are inviting us to do, again, is to note that that's a collective default experience. To swim in this water of not enoughness. And when that comes up for you in your personal experience, you can ask yourself, is this mine? Do I actually feel that way? Or am I just doing what I've been quietly taught to do? When someone compliments you and you deflect it, later on you can ask yourself, did deflecting that feel true? Or did I actually agree with them? Do I actually feel like I'm not enough? Or is that not the case? Is that not mine? And really all you're doing, and it's not that it's good or bad, really, it's just like, just note if that's a true experience for you. That's the invitation here. It's okay if you feel like you're not enough. But the thing we're looking at here is your experience of not enoughness actually true for you as an individual, or is it just this collective experience that's blanketed upon you? And to notice that. And if you notice that, oh, this actually isn't mine, what would it feel like to shed that, even just for a moment? What would it feel like to experience yourself and your qualities as neutral facts, not something that you have to shy away from because it's bad to claim it, and not something that you have to feel super energized and good about yourself about. But what if you just saw it as neutral? Like, I have this skill. I am good at this thing. I am a powerful person. I am a creative being. And starting almost like using that neutral experience of it as a gateway into it, because sometimes almost to combat that like default experience of not enoughness, right? We can almost go wild with affirmations that are so supercharged with language, right? It's like, I am a spectacular, wonderful being. I am the best ever. I am whatever, whatever. And it's like charged. We're like hyping it up even more to like balance out the like opposite experience of how not enough we might feel about something. So to even it out, we might gravitate towards really like charged, super positive affirmations. And what they're saying is that's also fine. There's not a problem with that. But what they're saying is like, can you tap into your qualities, your being, as neutral, as not bad, not something to feel shameful or not enough about, and not something to feel super juiced up about either, but just like, what would it feel like to be with that quality, with yourself as just a neutral fact? And maybe that doesn't feel as sexy as like a fun affirmation or a fun, like juicy version of that is. But there's a way when you're being with it in this neutral space that it can actually land a little bit deeper or a lot deeper than the affirmation might land. It's less this sense of I'm saying something again and again until I convince myself it's right. It's not this sense of fake it till you make it. I'll just say it again and again until that belief becomes real. It's more like, what if I could just engage with this as true, as a fact that doesn't mean anything? What if this just was? What if my skill at this thing, or my talent or gift or goodness at something, my beingness, my qualities, what if those were just facts? What would that feel like to engage with it as just, it just is. I just am. And there's a sense of enoughness around that because it's not something you're arguing for. It's not something you're trying to prove one way or the other. It just is. It's undeniable. So I invite you to sit with that and to play with that and know that this is just a different way to look at something. So to play inside that perspective and see how it feels to you, you can try it on and see if you like it. And I'd love to hear from you if you feel called to share. You can send me a message or comment on this or however you want to get in touch. There's lots of different ways. But yeah, think about that and be with that and see what comes up for you. See how it feels to you. And I'm wishing you well until next time. Namaste.